After a franchise-shifting offseason where the Jaguars brought in Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence into the mix, a lot of people are wondering how good can the Jaguars be in 2021? A lot of people look at this team and the way they're building things and say, okay, 2022 should be the year that they take off. But as fans, we are very emotionally invested in this and we want to be good right away. I know me personally, I'm going to go out every Sunday and I want to win those games. But how realistic is it in the Jaguars in 2021 to potentially go on a run, have a winning record, and compete for the AFC South Division title? Now, before I get into this video, I want to announce that this Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I am giving away a Trevor Lawrence jersey. We're going to do a live stream, and it is going to be a basically Jaguars trivia. So you guys come in, you guys answer my questions, and whoever can answer the question first and the quickest, whoever answers the most that way, basically wins a Trevor Lawrence jersey. So be on the lookout for that, everybody. I'm very excited to do it. I've been teasing it for a while, and the moment is finally here. So be sure to subscribe. Go ahead and set your notification bell on so you get alerted right when I go live. Also, set your reminder on your iPhone. Do whatever you got to do because obviously you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. Now, when you look at the Jaguars' chances in 2021, a lot of people have different feelings. I know when I did my most recent member-only live stream last week, I kind of asked around, like, what do you guys think that what do you guys think the record's going to be? And I pretty much got responses like between 6-11 and 10-7. So we know that if you're 6-11, you're probably not going to be making the playoffs. But if you're 10-7, there's actually a decent chance that you make it. And the difference between that is 4 games. That is a 4-game shift between pretty much whether or not the Jaguars make the playoffs or not. The Jaguars did a lot this offseason. Obviously, in free agency, they brought in guys like Shaquille Griffin, Rayshon Jenkins, Marvin Jones, Roy Robertson Harris. And then in the draft, they brought in guys like, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, a bunch of different guys that are going to improve the roster pretty much right away. So we sit here and wonder, like, we've got to have impact from these different guys. Like, when you look at it, the Jaguars' additions were greatly different than the Jaguars' deductions. Like I said, we added all these players, and the guys that we lost included guys like Tyler Eifert, Chris Conley, Dede Westbrook, and that's pretty much it. Like, it kind of ends there. So really, the Jaguars' additions far exceeded the losses that the Jaguars have. So from a roster standpoint, this team should be a whole lot better than last year. And you also look at it, and really the coaching should be a lot better. Jaguars last year, the coaching was just awful. Like, Doug Marrone, it just seemed like the whole entire year, he didn't really know what was going on personnel. Like, it didn't seem like there was a lot of good communication with him and everybody else. He just seemed like a dead man walking. Like, none of his press conferences had any energy, and it was just bad. And then we had Jay Gruden, who was out there. He was working with, he just wasn't very good. And then also Todd Wash, we finally got rid of him. And the big thing about Todd Wash was that the defense probably could have been better if we had a different defensive coordinator. Todd Wash was so stuck in his own scheme, was so stuck with, this is the way I do things, you guys had to mold yourself around my scheme, as opposed to bringing a guy like Joe Cullen. And the better defense coordinators around the league, they play to the team's strengths. You have a guys like Caleb Von Chason and players like this where you can say, look, we're going to switch to a 3-4 defense because that's where the defense right now works best. And we're going to put these players in the best situations possible to be able to have their best careers. And then just the whole entire coaching staff, it seems like it's brought a lot of energy here. And really, one big thing that it stayed the same all throughout these years, but they are changing the role, and that is owner Shad Khan. We have been very critical of him being really an absentee owner. Like, it's a truth, man. He's been an absentee owner. Like, he's pretty much been like, okay, Gus, Dave, you guys run a team. I'm out. I'm going to Illinois. Just call me if you need anything. Now, Shad Khan seems to be taking a very active role in this team and really, really being around the building and kind of having more communication. Because it seems like Urban Meyer, Shad Khan, Trent Baalke, they're all kind of on the same page as opposed to last year's where it's like, okay, Gus, you're going to talk to Dave. Dave, you're going to talk to me. And it just wasn't like a, big triangle of really communication. So really like, and you know, like of course me, like I don't, not being around a facility, I don't know how important absentee owners are, but you hear like players around the league and like former Jaguar players speak out and say, look, like it's very important to have an owner around. You know, when the owner's not around, you know, it's like who's really running the show here. So it's good that that Shad Khan is going to show his face a little bit more and really present, you know, be just a better owner in general. Now, the Jaguars last year were 1-15, obviously the worst record in the NFL. But when I looked at it, 6 out of those 15 games were lost by one possession. That's 40% of our losses were only one possession losses. So you're literally one drive away from tying it or winning it or whatever. So I look at that, and really the big difference, like one big thing, one big way to close out games is being able to have, like, it's pretty much quarterback play and the head coach. You know what I mean? You got to have coaches that manage the end of games well, know how to work the clock. And, you know, that's one reason why you see, you know, teams like the Chargers last year had a great quarterback with Justin Herbert, but ultimately the fall man was Anthony Lynn because he couldn't really coach toward the end of games, man. Like he fell apart at the end of games where he wasn't able to close them out. So really, when it comes to closing these out, you know, oftentimes a team with the better, with that combination of better quarterback and better coaches, that's who's going to close these games. And man, us having Trevor Lawrence in here and also having Urban Meyer, like I think that could be really a real difference between really making this team win. I think another thing working for the Jaguars this year is just the division that the Jaguars are in. The Jaguars are in the AFC South, and really the AFC South, they don't have, you know, like if we were, say, in a Broncos situation, you look at the Broncos and say, man, like we have the Chiefs who have been to the past 2 Super Bowls. You know, if you're like in a Jets situation, you look at the Jets, they have the Bills who are a very, very good top 2 AFC team. The Miami Dolphins are coming back, and you still have the Patriots. You know, those are some tough divisions to be in. The Jaguars right now, they have the defending AFC South champs when it comes to the Titans, but I think the Titans have more deductions than they do additions, especially with the fact that Arthur Smith, their offensive coordinator, right when they fixed their offensive coordinator spot, he's out the building. And now they kind of had to revamp that, and they lost a lot of players, you know, Jonnu Smith, a lot of different players around the board, and I don't know. I think they might be taking a step back. Also, we'll see with the Colts. Colts have a great roster, but what is Carson Wentz going to be? And obviously, the Texans right now are dumpster fire. So, really, in this division, you know, 10-7, 9-8, that could win it. You know, that could ultimately win a division, as opposed to, you know, if you're in the AFC West and 14-3 wins it, or the AFC East and you know, 12-5 wins it. It's a lot harder in those divisions than the Jaguars being in the AFC South. That really works for us. Now, also a huge thing that the Jaguars had to do to have success is the young players have to perform. I remember I was pretty much saying the same thing last year when I said, look, the rookie class is going to have to show out. And the first game of the year, they did. CJ Henderson was a beast. Clavon Chason was really getting in there. Laviska Shenault, you know, showed out. And like we had a lot of rookies making pretty good impact. And another reason I said we also need the injury bug to be in our favor. And ultimately, there were guys like Josh Allen, Devon Hamilton. All these guys were just kind of falling off, and we had nothing. You know what I mean? The roster was very bare toward the end of the year. So that's another thing, man. We got a lot of rookies this year, and a lot of guys like, you know, I expect ETN to make immediate impact, Tyson Campbell to go out there, Andre Cisco. So we got a lot of guys. We drafted a lot of guys that are going to be able to play right away and make instant impact. And we also need the rookie year from last year to play a little bit better. So really, not only our rookies, but our second-year guys. I mean, we have 4 first-round picks from the last 2 years on the roster right now. So we need all those guys to really show out. Now, as we all know, the biggest reason for optimism this season, and one reason why we are all just, there's a new energy around Duval, is Trevor Lawrence, man. Like, we all know now the quarterback position is just so vital to being able to win. You know, especially just the way the NFL is trending, where you have teams giving up on good quarterbacks. You know what I mean? I mean, you saw Tampa with Jameis Winston. I mean, I wouldn't consider Jameis Winston a bust. You have the Titans with Marcus Mariota, and you even have like the Raiders with Derek Carr. That's kind of like, okay, what do we do here? All those guys are good quarterbacks, but now, I mean, you need guys that can take them over the top. Nowadays, you need your best player to be your quarterback. You know what I mean? Like when all things are down, when you need that 2-minute drive, it's ultimately going to be the quarterback that pretty much holds all the power. I mean, they're the ones that are going to be chucking the ball, and if he's making inaccurate throws, you have no chance. You know what I mean? Obviously, we know football is a team game, but in the 2-minute drill, when you need to go out there and win, the run game is out of the question. You need your quarterback to make the reads, make the throws, and we had a guy in here with Trevor Lawrence who I'm so excited for. You guys all know how excited I am for this guy. And, you know, I think he's going to be a real difference maker. And, you know, many people around the NFL really feel the same way. So it's all about how quickly can Trevor Lawrence make an impact? How quickly can he learn the Jaguars offense? Obviously, he's going to really just a new offense when it comes to Clemson. He's doing a lot of no huddle calls and a lot of hand signals from the sidelines. Now he's got the coach in his helmet. He needs to call the huddle, you know, make the call to the team and go out there and execute. So it's obviously a transition, but what rookie quarterback does not have a transition? There's no super smooth transition from college to the NFL. Everybody's going to have their leaps and hurdles to kind of jump over. But, you know, I've never seen a quarterback more ready. I've never seen a quarterback have their senior day during their junior year. So it's going to be a lot about Trevor Lawrence. And hopefully Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer and just this whole entire coaching staff can learn to use this team to their best abilities. And we can go out there and really start competing in 2021 for a playoff spot. Now, do I think the Jaguars are going to make the playoffs? I mean, if I was a betting man, I probably would not bet. Like, I'm probably in the realm of the Jaguars going like, 8-9. I'm probably around there, but hell, like, that's probably 2 games away from the playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll be rooting for them every single game. I'm off Team Tank. The Tank was successful. We got my guy and we got my coach. So let's do this. So that's really the end of the video. I wasn't really sure what direction to take this video. I didn't really have much of a script. I just kind of went out here and kind of rambled a little bit. But it's an interesting topic. I would definitely like you guys to let me know what you guys think the record is going to be for the Jaguars. Honestly, for me, if we go anything less, if we go 6-11 or worse, I would probably be a little bit disappointed. You know what I mean? I would think that 7-10 is probably a win. That's a 6-game improvement, but I would like probably some better things. But let me know what your guys' record predictions are down below. And also, I want to give a quick shout out to all the members of the channel for really just helping fund my channel in a lot of ways. You guys are absolutely awesome. And with all that said, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you guys get notified on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time when I give away a Trevor Lawrence jersey. So I'll see you guys there. You guys watched the whole video. Really appreciate that. You guys can subscribe to the channel for the best source of Jaguars news on the YouTube platform. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at UCF_Jaguar. And you can become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month for exclusive channel content. Thank you guys, and go Jags.